I saved this man's marriage in 3 weeks.
Since the program 3 weeks ago that I started, that's changed. We're done that. We've been intimate 2 or 3 times together.
Wait, it's only been 3 weeks and you guys have been intimate after
Yeah,
6 months? Oh, how did
twice.
that happen? What did you do that allowed that? Allowed that? After he applied these 3 habits with his wife. Before Mark did a 180-degree turnaround in 3 weeks, he first started off here.
My wife, whose name is Amanda, and we've been back and forth over the years, up, down, like some, relationships go, and we were just sort of at a crossroads.
I call this crossroads the complacency trap. Over the years, you and your wife start to go into this routine of work and kids, and your marriage starts to take a back seat. You take for granted that she will always be there for you. Then slowly, death by 1,000 cuts begins to take place. An emotional and physical distance grows between the two of you, and this starts to happen.
I just pushed it to a point early in August where it was done. And I could tell the flavor of all of it. It was done. She was moving on. She was going on girls' trips, planning, she went on a yoga retreat in Mexico without me and meeting new friends.
These are the most common signs I see that wives take when they are ready to end it all. A lot of men like Mark think it came out of nowhere, but in reality, there were years in the making. The reason why so many men don't catch this pattern earlier is because they are caught up in their own selfish problems. And for Mark, this was his pattern of drinking.
I come home, have 2 or 3 beers, and 2 or 3 beers might be, I'd have a couple of rums and go to bed. And, some days I might have 10 drinks or whatever, but it's been a thing, right?
This selfishness of escaping into alcohol to numb the pain of disconnection turned him to a woe is me victim mentality state. And like most men, we are blinded by our own mistakes until an expert or someone else that knows more than you can offer a different perspective, like my coach Liz did with him on the first call.
It blew my mind because everything that you were saying was exactly what she's been telling me for the last couple of years. And I just refuse to listen to it when it's her telling me. But when somebody else tells it to me, or I had the onboarding call with Liz, and she sort of said, you know what I see here, Mark, I see kind of the victim card. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Like I wasn't looking at it like that. But when she said it, I'm like, oh, that's me. And I hate those kind of people in life. I hate the victim people. Like I've dealt with them. I've had them in my life. And I'm like, that's what I'm doing and self-sabotaging.
That awareness and the humility was the first step in Mark opening himself up to change, to think of it like this. Imagine you want to go down this path to find your personal paradise, but you have these blinders on, right? You're not going to see where to go and what obstacles to overcome if your vision is impaired. This is what an expert who has seen countless marriages in every situation can offer you. Now, if you want an expert who has seen thousands of marriage examples that can analyze your marriage and give you a different perspective to get her back starting today, set up a call down below with our team. Make sure you are fully committed. After that enlightening consultation, Mark began the path toward relationship reconstruction. Now, the first thing Mark did is what so few men are even aware of. Let's have Mark tell you through his personal story.
What made it blow up was over early in August, I took a trip. When I sort of knew this was sort of blowing up, I said, okay, screw it. I know this is happening. Took my 3 daughters out to Kelowna, which is about a 7-8 hour drive. We get out there and we meet my parents, visit with them quickly, get ready for dinner. And it didn't take very long. My dad gave my middle child shit for sort of fussing at dinner and not being happy with what the meal was and this kind of thing. And he had been drinking. He probably already had a bottle of wine, and and he snapped at her and said, go sit in the car. Like, I don't want you here, this kind of thing. And light bulb went on. And I was like, holy fuck, this is what I'm doing to my wife. And this is what I'm doing to my children.
For so many men, they aren't even aware of the karmic and generational patterns that they unconsciously carry over from their fathers. You, like Mark, were given this blueprint of love and connection. You needed to use it early on in your first environment with your parents to survive. However, that same mode of being, perceiving, acting, feeling, and thinking with your wife in this current environment, it doesn't align. By killing off your father's image of you and becoming aware of your old patterns, you begin to break them away and transform into a better man. The second thing Mark did was what I call flipping the masculine Switch. Let me show you what I mean.
I stopped being needy. I stopped playing the victim card, and I kept telling my wife to fix me, make me happy. You do this. And I didn't really realize she was waiting for me to do it. I said, like, the date night, let's go on a date. And she's like, okay. I'm like, well, plan it. Let me know.
Can you imagine how that would translate into the bedroom as a man? I actually think sex in that domain is like a microcosm of how the relationship should be. The man should be attuned to the woman's body and her needs and how she's feeling in the moment. And you are so in the moment with her during sex. You are fully attuned and connected to her. Right? You're also leading her if you're doing it the right way. And so that is a perfect example. How you have sex is how you should lead her day by day when you communicate with her, when you just are with her, that masculine leadership. Can you imagine if being in bed, you walk there and you're just like, you don't even understand like what she's going through. You're all focused on yourself. It's all about me. It's all about me. And you're like, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Hey, is it okay if you like get on top and we switch positions? Do you want to kiss me? That would be the most repulsive thing ever to a woman. So in regards of other domains of your life and you're communicating her on a day-to-day basis, why would it be any different? To give you a little leeway here, your wife is a good leader. Over the years, she has shown more masculine and dominant traits. But where most guys get this confused is that she doesn't want to do this. She felt like she's had to because you haven't been stepping up. But when you step into your authentic apex male, what we say here, this is what can happen.
I flipped that switch. I stopped doing the nagging texts, hey, how you doing? And, just this bullshit crap that I was trying to do to kind of just get a read on the moment or the day. And it flipped. And all of a sudden it was like a complete 360. She started communicating with me differently, telling me more of the details. And she initiated the touch and the all the stuff that I wanted.
As soon as Mark stepped into his masculine state of leading and being assertive, his wife flipped more into the feminine state of being loving, passionate, soft, and nurturing. You lead, your wife will follow. This is the healthy masculine feminine polarity you must have in your marriage. It's so easy to say, well, if she was more affectionate and soft and slept with me more often, I would meet her needs. As the man, you have to swallow your pride and recognize that you lead first, not just with your marriage, but in every domain of your life. Start to lead. If you already lead in your career, just do it in your marriage. As a masculine, high-value man, what we're cultivating here in our ethos of our company, in this channel, for you to become, is that dominant, high-value man in every domain. The third thing Mark did was he realized listening leads to love. You can see how Mark was first holding back his loving toward his wife.
And I looked at it, and we have all our emotional needs, mine and hers. And every one of those needs, each of us were not meeting any of them because we were just doing this. We were taking so much away from the other person for the little things we were doing. We were just mad at each other.
It wasn't until he started listening first that it allowed her to feel emotionally safe enough to then give in to him.
Listening and shutting up, just not talking about the problem, not saying, hey, are we going to get a divorce? Are you leaving me today? Like just leaving it.
This has to be where most men, they shoot themselves in the foot. They will constantly follow their wife around. They will have this anxiety that she just has to reject. She's repulsed by it. But when you can finally break that pattern, something amazing will happen. Look at this beautiful example of what Mark shared with me after a short couple of weeks.
Sure enough, I get home 2 or 3 days after we did that, and the recycling bin's outside on the street. She hasn't done that in and I know the only reason she did that was because she heard me and she listened and she just did that. And I drove up and I just my heart melted. It's so stupid. It's a freaking garbage can out in the street. But that told me that she didn't want to end our marriage and she loves me. And,
when it's flipped the other way around, right? And the wife will get angry that you didn't take the garbage when you said you would. For a lot of logical guys, it's just the garbage. Why does it warrant such a big blowout? And for the wife, it's like, it's not the fucking garbage, man. It's like, you said as a man you were going to do this thing and you didn't do it. I cannot trust you now.
I don't pat myself on the back a lot, but I was on fire saying that. The little things matter. I hear so many men say, I never cheated on her. I treated her so well. We went on vacations. I took care of her, but you really didn't. You neglected her. You didn't appreciate her. You didn't listen to her. You didn't make her a priority in your life. And she felt that. Most men who give up on their marriage, it's like they don't realize this fundamental truth that you have these spikes on you that you developed in childhood. And they were designed to protect you from other people as you were growing up. But when you try to get close to your wife and she tries to get close to you, they hurt her. And the only way to get her to come close to you is you guys have to sharpen down those spikes, right? Like saw them down. And the only way to do that is to get through that conflict with her, to express your needs. And then over time, you guys will perfectly mesh together. But those spikes pushing other people away will never go away until you are in a relationship. It doesn't matter if you go with the next woman or the next woman, the same patterns will occur. Mark had this realization, and so many men do when their wives want a divorce. And this is what is able to allow them to stick in the marriage, fight through it. And guess what? Because they fight through this difficult time, they come back together even stronger than they were before. If you know she's your soulmate, the one that you were meant to be with, and you know there's no other woman out there that's better for you. It's just that you guys have gone through some difficult periods. You can bounce back from that. And the guys that have the humility like Mark to say, you know what, there's stuff that I don't know. Maybe I need to look at myself in the mirror, and you want that expert advice, and you're committed to making this change, go ahead and click the link down below, set up a free call with my marriage evaluator team, but make sure you are fully committed to getting her back. If you want to check out another marriage turnaround story in a matter of weeks, check out Damon's story right here. Subscribe if you are new here to get the best advice, how to become the best version of yourself to win her back. Like the video if you enjoy videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one. And set up a call down below if you need support.